Although the German spring offensive of 1918 failed to achieve its objective of defeating the French and English, it brought the war's balance of power to a tipping point. With no clear end in sight, the fate of Europe was uncertain. It was now time for the United States to either fully intervene on behalf of their allies, or let the war drag on to an indefinite conclusion. President Woodrow Wilson and the 65th United States Congress chose the former. By late summer, American troop deployments had exponentially ramped up to bolster their million-man expeditionary force. Though numerically impressive, many of these doughboys, as they were called, were woefully underprepared and trained. To compound their misfortune, the Allied leadership's strategy was simply to overwhelm the enemy through sheer strength of number. Now in place, the doughboys, led by General John J. Pershing, were ready for action. Their objective? A heavily defended section of the German defensive line near the Meuse River and Argonne Forest, just to the northwest of Verdun. To counter the American threat, German General Heinrich Ludendorff deployed his strategic reserves to supplement his three defensive lines. The doughboys' attack came on September 26th. The doughboys charged into battle alongside a comparatively small contingent of French allies. Though largely successful in the eastern flanks, the western push was blunted and nearly defeated. Some 500 men, commanded by Major Charles W. Whittlesey, valiantly made a heroic stand at Hill 198. Though surrounded and outnumbered, the soon-to-be-dubbed Lost Battalion held out against waves of attackers until the Germans could stand it no more and retreated. Whittlesey and two others were later awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. Thus, the AEF offensive prevailed. By October 16th, though, the attack had lost its momentum. General Pershing's rush tactics were brutally met with dug-in German machine guns, many more than were expected. Terrified of allowing this engagement to devolve into a months-long game of attrition, Pershing handed command over to General Hunter Liggett. Liggett temporarily reined in the attack to muster more artillery and ammunition. He also reorganized his aviation assets and retasked them to be more judicious in their strikes. On November 1st, Liggett ordered his men to resume the push through what had just weeks earlier been a tranquil forest. The bloody onslaught continued until November 11th. The situation had become untenable. Rather than be pushed to annihilation, the Germans accepted peace terms and laid down their weapons. The Meuse Argonne Offensive would become the bloodiest battle for Americans in World War I, claiming the lives of over 26,000 and wounding another 95,000 men. The Germans also suffered significant losses, including 28,000 dead and over 92,000 wounded. One can only speculate what the war's final outcome would have been had the Americans either not committed their million-man expeditionary force or failed to break through the German lines during the Meuse Argonne Offensive. Thanks to the valiant efforts of the doughboys, the Great War was finally brought to a close.